everyone. I hope you're really enjoying my course, Mindfulness in Music. And we're going to talk today about anxiety. I want to know, have you done the homework assignment that you've been given up to this point, which is to really analyze and think about the differences you feel between when you're practicing in a practice room or when you're performing on stage. There are big differences there, and you need to address them. You need to face them. You need to acknowledge them, because that's how you're going to bring practicing and performing together. So I want to tell just a couple of stories before we get into our lesson today on anxiety. And one of the stories happened very early in my graduate work. It was about 9 years ago. I had just recently started my master's, and I had a performance coming up, and it was just a little performance. I had to play one piece of music at the very beginning of a women's chorale concert. And I was happy to do it. I thought, okay, this will get me started. It was kind of a jump start into my performing in my graduate school. And I was playing a piece of music that's quite familiar. It's the Turkish March by Mozart. It's familiar to a lot of people. And it's familiar, and it's catchy, and it's fairly quick. It's 4 pages long, and so it's fairly short. And I thought, okay, I can do that. I've played this piece for years, and so I just thought it was something I could handle in regards to kind of getting me started in my performing in my graduate school. So I got nervous, and I definitely felt the nerves beforehand. Just like everyone else, and I had every performance I've ever had, I've dealt with nerves up to this point. But I was doing okay. I'm halfway in it, and I thought, okay, I've got this. This is under control. And the thought crossed my mind of, wow, I'm doing it. Oh, well, that was a mistake. As soon as that thought entered my mind, I crashed. And I mean, I crashed. It was something like... It was bad. It was like lopsided and out of sync, and I knew it, and I thought, oh, come on, get it under control. And I tried to recover, but there's no recovering from that. It's a piece of music everybody knows. It's so obvious. It's 2 beats to the measure, and it never changes, and you can't recover from something like that. So I got all done. I was just horrified at what had happened. Everybody, applauded, of course, politely, and so I took my bow and I left. And after the concert then, one of the faculty members came up to me, and he said, I'm guessing maybe you didn't have a lot of time to prepare for this performance. And I thought, yeah, that's it. I didn't have time to prepare. It was kind of a last-minute notice that I agreed to do this. Lying through my teeth. That was definitely not true. And he walked away. He just kind of said, next time make sure you have time, ample time to prepare. And if it's last-minute notice, tell them no. And he walked away, and I went, phew. I'm just thinking, okay, off the hook on that. Well, why couldn't I admit that I just got nervous? Why couldn't I say, hey, I got nervous? It's like we're ashamed of that, or like we're supposed to be above that. And so we can't admit it. Oh my gosh, why? And I thought about that later, and I spent some more time kind of thinking through some of that. It's time to admit I got nervous. It's time to face those nerves, because if I just keep trying to hide them and I just keep trying to push them down, they're not going to go away. Face your nerves. Admit them. Talk about them. Write about them. Get them out in the open. This is what Unit 1 is all about. Face those nerves. Face that anxiety. Get it out there, because it does make a difference. I'll tell you something that happened then probably about 2 years later. I was, again, backstage before a performance and different piece of music, and when I get nervous, my hands get cold. We all have our things that, what happens when we get nervous. My hands get cold. And I knew, oh, my hands are going to get cold, and I was afraid of it. I was always afraid of it. And so I'd run my hands under hot water, or I'd go in the main office and I'd hold onto the coffee pot. Anything I could do to keep my hands from getting cold. And they would always still get cold. So it finally dawned on me in this one performance, you know what? I've been playing with cold hands for years, and I'm doing just fine. I clearly can handle it. And would you know, that's the first performance of any kind of pressure that my hands did not get cold. That's when I learned we do have power over this. The power of the mind is incredible. And we really can change the effect nerves are having on us. You really can do it. If I can do it, you can do it too. From that day, it started my journey of learning what is this thing called anxiety? What are these things called nerves? Why do they affect us so much? You see, nothing changed except my perception. But when my perception changed, everything changed. Now, get on this course, enjoy this unit on anxiety. We're going to look at 3 definitions of anxiety. And those 3 definitions then look at the perceptions we have of our own anxiety and how much it affects us. But break these definitions apart. The unit is following right after this video. Get into this, dig into this, do the homework that's coming. You will not be sorry. This has been an incredible journey for me, and I'm thrilled to take you along with me. Enjoy it.